Okay, we're live.
All right. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Tonight we are here to walk you through a photo shoot that we just did. This one was actually for me. I have a need for my work of some big girl, professional, corporate style headshots. So I drafted my favorite local photographer to help me out with that. So we thought we would just take a few minutes. This will be probably a pretty short video to walk you through just our simple, go to, easy, quick sort of headshot portrait setup. So the first picture that you're looking at on the screen right now is a picture of our upstairs studio where we do setups and simple easy shoots and stuff. So Eric, you want to walk us through how you did the lighting for this one for me? So you want to walk us through how you did that?
Yeah, so this is a little makeshift converted upstairs. I didn't want to do the whole full seamless and all that because it was going to be portrait.
Yeah, we didn't
So
need
there's
that
no
for
need
this.
to, no. So I just pulled it a little bit because it was going to be framed just mostly for, pretty tight headshots. Not full body, but if it was a full body, the whole, all the junk here would have been moved to the side and all that to have a clean background. But anyway, so I took a quick snap right before starting shooting tonight. So here you can see what was part of it. So here you can see this is a big soft box. This is a 2x2, 2 feet by 2, yeah. With the Canon 600 RT, I think, and that's going to be triggered with a ETTL. Not, if that makes any sense to you, that's great. And so yeah, this is the main key light, and this softbox is gridded. There's a grid in front of it, so the light does not spill everywhere. So it's much more controlled. Then here on this big round thing, that's just a reflector. So this is going to bounce, and that's going to help for the fill light to fill in all the shadows and all that. Then here you have a little strip box. I think it's a 2 foot, yeah, I think 2 or 3 feet high by 1. It's also gridded. It's not a very tight grid, so it again gridded so it doesn't spill all over the background and all that. So this is more controlled. And then here, and there's actually for this strip box, this is going to be used as a separation to create like a rim light on the side. It gives a little bit more pop. It looks pretty neat. That's triggered with a manual flash, I think.
Yeah.
I think 8th power, something like that. And then here, hidden behind this pole, this light stand, you have a regular flash, which at first I think we didn't have a color gel, but then we put like a blue gel.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's going to shine directly onto the black seamless background, and that's going to create like a nice kind of tone blue whatever, and that's going to help separate the subject from the black background. Nothing special here, it's just a gel or no gel, so either it's going to look gray or it's going to look blue.
Yeah, really simple setup.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Really, anybody can do that. The only thing that was a little tricky is to trigger these all at the same time with the little remotes, and so those are very cheap actually. They are the Yongnuo for the Canon, and they support TTL. And then here with the cowboy hat and the little
That's
slash
our model.
slash what do you call that, wig.
Wig.
That was just a temporary model just to see how the light was going to react and all that. So it's just to set.
Slash was my stand-in while I was working on makeup and hair.
So again, there's a lot of junk here, and you can see the whole thing, but it's okay because we didn't have to clean anything because it's going to be so close that it's not even going to show. So that's going to work perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So that's the basic setup. Here you can see there's a tripod with the 70-200 Canon. That's a great lens for portraits. There's no body here because I'm using the body to take the picture, so it's kind of weird. But most of them, actually all of them, are going to be handheld.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. I set everything so so that if there's no light, if the flash is on firing, I get a black frame because I don't want any contaminations from the ambient light. And I needed the ambient light because it needs to help focus and things like that. So you need the ambient light to help you and to discuss with you the model, so I can see you, what you're doing, to move your head, such. And like, it can't be completely black, but at the same time I need a fast shutter speed to ensure that if there's no light, so basically everything is going to be lit just by the flashes and
So your
no
fast
contamination.
shutter speed ensures that the sensor isn't registering any of the ambient light. It's only picking up the flash.
Yes, and that way there's no color balance issues or anything like that. So
Great.
So let's go to the first. So we selected basically 9 pictures as possible contenders.
We did.
And that I'm okay with them. I think I think you look good.
Thanks. Let's just be honest with the fact that there's really very little I dislike more than pictures of myself.
Yeah,
Especially when I'm the only one in them. Typically, I would prefer they be really overexposed, combined with a little bit blurry, so you can't actually make out the facial features. But yeah.
All right. So
What are you gonna do?
the first one is a big one.
I like that sound. That sounded good.
There you go. So again, 70 to 200, ISO 100. This is just the basic EXIF data. 6.3. I didn't want to have too shallow depth of field. I still wanted to have, the ear and the whole hair and arms and all that. I see you smiling over there.
I just spontaneously felt happy in my heart. That had nothing to do with the fact that you said air. It's fine.
And so there was really no need to be at 2.8 or anything like that. So 6.3 could have been up to like f8. It would have worked pretty well. work. But f8, that means that I would have pushed the flashes like probably full power or something like that,
Yeah.
especially if I wanted to remain at ISO 100. So 6.3 is pretty good aperture for this, and then up to 200 of a second to just basically match the sync speed. If you go any higher than this, then it goes into the high speed sync, and then it's going to create issues and all that. So you basically try to match the high speed sync of the camera, which happens to be 200th of a second. Some people reported that for this camera it's better to shoot at 1/60th, but I've never really had an issue at 200th.
Yeah.
So it's fast enough, and so that's fine. So those settings are pretty steady, known to work and all that. So this is the first shot. Should we go kind of quickly show them all and then go back, or one by one?
I think that we can show the ones that were done in this lighting style
Okay.
as examples of kind of what you were doing there. I don't know if you want to talk about what that lighting style does for the model.
Yeah. So basically here, the main key light by the softbox, the 2x2, is hitting right here from this left side, camera left, I guess. And then you have the shadows fallen a little bit, so it kind of creates a little triangle, kind of like Rembrandt lighting a little bit, or Rembrandt. And then you have the reflector coming on this way to fill in a little bit of some of the shadows, and then you have by the ear and then this side with the kicker, the rim light a little bit. And then you have the background, which normally would have been completely black or very close to pure black. But because right behind her, actually, yeah, you can see, unfortunately, the flash.
Let's just say the model wasn't quite as well behaved as maybe professional models might be. I had a hard time keeping myself in the right spot so that my body obscured the flash to the back.
So yeah, you generally put the flash behind the model. And actually, because it was a little tricky, because it's by your neck, and your neck is very small.
Why, thank you. I appreciate that.
I then decided to drop the light, the flash, so it was more at this location instead of this height. So that was much easier. So you had more room to play.
Yeah.
So
Good
the
call.
subsequent shots, the light is going to be down, but then aimed slightly higher. So it still cast some nice light, roundish.
Well, and I think when you did the setting, you probably did it based on your height.
Yes,
mine,
yes,
so.
that is true too. And the height of Slash with the cowboy hat.
Right. He's quite thin, though, really.
Yeah. So that's the basic. That's basically how those three, or if you count the reflector lights, are all interacting together to create a general picture. Now, again, these are completely straight out of the camera. There's no editing
Right.
at all.
Not processed yet.
Yeah, no, nothing. And then, I mean, no crop. This is exactly straight out of the camera. It's very, it's sharp.
Let's not zoom in too far there, shall we? Let's just.
Um,
Everything needs to be seen.
Well, especially before editing.
Yeah, no, after editing, that's fine. All my skin will be gone. Cool.
So yeah, it really, straight out of the camera. That's pretty neat. It's where it should be, really, in my opinion. Yeah. The catch lights. I'm sorry, I just had to zoom in. But the catch lights are pretty good. This is like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock roughly. So imagine if you had, the eyes as if it was a clock. You can see where the catch light, which is basically the reflection of the light modifier, and most likely here the key light. 9 o'clock, or on the other side, 2 or 3 o'clock is also a good position to have. It creates life a very vivid portrait. So it's something you want. So that's the first shot. Second one, basically same setup, different crop. This one 125, same settings. I'm not gonna. Everything was shot in manual, so the exposure and the aperture and all that, everything is going to remain the same, because once you have it calibrated, you just keep shooting and you just work with the model, with expression, tilt, and all that kind of things. Yeah, that's anything you'd like to say about this one?
Yeah, that's great. You covered it.
Okay. Now here, this is still the same kind of setup as far as the light. The only difference being that you can see that the background is blue compared.
Put the gel on for this one.
Yeah, compared to the gray. So the blue, we just simply slap a blue gel in front of it, and it creates this nice little background.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you can, in post, now that the fact that it's not gray anymore, you can change the color of from blue to another color. Because now you have a color to work with, and you can change all the blues into red, orange, whatever color you have. But if you start with a gray, it's much harder to change the gray into a different color. So, and that's, I guess this is the main reason why green screens, it's much easier, because now you have something to work with, and as long as nobody's wearing anything green, you can select all the greens and make it whatever color you want. So anyway, so this one, I like this. This is nice.
Yeah, I like the blue. I'm not sure what I'll end up using yet, but I do like that at least it gives us a different look that we can play around with.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah,
this is good. I think you look good there. The hair looks nice. Everything looks good. I like this. Now again, there'll be some retouch, but that's not the point. Right now it's just how straight out of the camera, how it looks, and what you can get with just placing some lights in particular locations. Catch light's good. The hair, the shadows here is a little bothering, but probably either gonna fix it or maybe it'll be okay. I don't know yet. Yeah. Same setup here.
Yeah, still with the blue gel.
Different pose, different smile, different, time and all things like that. Still with the blue gel.
Different time.
Yeah, that was taken 3 years later. Yeah, and actually on these you can see that the flash is not showing anymore, as opposed to this one. So this one obviously is going to be either a miss, or we're going to have to Photoshop that out, which is really not a big deal. That can be fixed in 3 minutes. That's not really a big issue. But if there's the same picture without the flash, might as well use that one.
Yeah, might as well not work any harder in Photoshop that we need to.
Yeah. So, and then we decide to try a different type of lighting to see,
just to give a different look.
Yeah. So we decide to go with a clamshell, or there you go. So this type of light is unfortunately I didn't take.
We didn't capture a shot of the setup for that one, but
yeah. But basically, it's a clamshell. It's called either clamshell lighting or butterfly or paramount. It's all the same thing. It's basically the key light is right in front. It's very directional, on axis with the camera, and you can see in the eyes that this is a noon.
You can see the key light has moved.
Yes. So it used to be here. Now it's really in line. And then for the shadows, and the reason it's called butterfly is because of the shadows that it creates right under the nose. And because I'm fairly close, it's not as harsh as it could have been. And It's a fairly large. We could have gone larger, but this is really nice.
And for this one, if I can interject, these lights were literally here to me. So the softbox was maybe a couple of feet from my face, and the reflector that we were using to form the bottom half of the clamshell was just right up against me and sort of laid out on a horizontal with an angle. And then you were shooting basically just between in the gap between the bottom of the softbox and the top of the reflector.
Yes. That's right. So the main key light, like Michelle was saying, the main key light is angled 45 degrees down. Mm-hmm. And so it's going to create this nice carving, the shadows with the cheekbones, and this is where this shadow is coming from. But if you just use the upper part as the key light and you don't have anything to reflect back, these shadows are going to be a little strong. Mm-hmm. And same for the nose and all that, which is not bad. It's just a different look. Yeah. So decided to put a reflector to match so you have the one 45 degrees that way, and then the other one is 45 the other way to kind of reflect. So you basically exactly in the middle, and shooting through, and that creates something fairly even. The shadows are a different look. It's a different look. On this one, I was at 75 millimeter, which I personally don't like using 75.
It's a little close.
It's a little close. It's not as flattering because you have the natural not distortion, but the flattering effect of a long focal length.
Yeah. Doesn't flatten your features the way that a longer focal length would do.
So, but I still like the lighting. It's I don't know. It's yeah.
I think I did ask you to scoot out after that one. Do we have examples of where you scooted out?
Yeah, I think after that I rearranged slightly, so I was able to back out.
And we had his camera tethered to the iPad so that as he was taking shots, I could look at the iPad and see what we were getting. And as soon as I saw that you could clearly see all my facial features, I knew something had to change. So I asked him to move back and zoom in.
Yes. So let's see. So this is 75 millimeters. There you go. This one 168. So again, so this is still clamshell, and you can see again the little signature shadow under the nose, and then the cheekbones very much accentuate that. And you can see that the shadows under, even though it's 45 degrees, as you can see here, noon. Mm-hmm. The neck and the whole area is still pretty filled in. Like it's not. So it's not another source of light, like where we completely, eradicate any shadows, but it's just much more soft. It's softer.
Yeah, creates a very soft light.
Yes, I like that look. I think it looks really good. And at 168, the features are represented differently. I don't know if you can see a difference. I can, but some people like this look. This is nice, but I think this is going to be much more flattering. If we work on this picture, edit it and all that, it's going to be really nice. Actually, even like this, it looks really nice. Again, these are straight out of the camera. Nothing done with them, so that's really good. I'm pretty happy about that. The exposure is pretty much dead on. And we don't use a light meter. It's more like use a gray card, snap, and then make sure that it's basically where it's supposed to be. And then, that's pretty good. I like this. Do you like this one?
I mean, I'm in it, so I can only like it a certain amount. But yeah, I think if it was a photo of another lady, I would think it was nice.
Okay. I like it. Now, this one is the same setup, except that the rim light here, the strip box, did not fire. So you can definitely see the difference between this, where it did fire, and then bam, it did not fire.
I like it. It's a little dramatic. I feel like I'm about to be on the news.
Well, and it's one way to,
in a good way,
to make the face appear a little slimmer also.
Yeah, good point.
Especially the angle and all that, but you can see that you have more of you there versus here. You take away, you know, you kind of fall out.
Yes.
So it's not bad. Now, yeah, no, I like it. It's just that it was not planned, which is fine.
Sometimes you get a happy accident.
Yeah.
We'll see if we use it or not. Who knows?
Yeah. And I guess we'll see. And then the last picture is this one. So this one, same lighting setup, still a butterfly, and then it fired, and still with the blue gel on the background flash. I like this one too. I think for corporate, typical, you know, portrait, it's very representative. It's looking good. I like this one. I like them.
Good. I'm glad you like them. That's really good.
Yeah. So I don't know which one we're gonna choose and to work on and all that, but
yeah, we'll see. It's good to have a few options to play with. So yeah.
Any last words?
No, I don't think so. Thanks everyone for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Have a great evening.
See ya.